Lesson 42, Multiple Subtotals. In this lesson, we're going to take a look at what happens if we want to add not just subtotals, but perhaps sub-average and sub-count. What to do if we want to have the subtotal and count on the same line, and how to subtotal by two different fields, perhaps region and product. Okay, so we have our data set, and we want to add totals by customer. So we click the A to Z button, and then the subtotal. Say at each change in customer, we want to add the sum function to profit, cost of goods sold, revenue, quantity. Click OK. Now, if I also want to see the count and the average, I would go back to subtotal, this time choose a different function, and most importantly, uncheck the box that says Replace Current Subtotals. You see that we now have two lines for every customer. I can do this again and choose to average. Click OK. So now we've basically added three sets of statistics for every customer. If I collapse, I'll see the average, the count, and the total, just the count and the total, just the total, or just the grand totals. Okay, well, this kind of creates a big mess, as you can see, with three total lines for every customer. Let's remove all of those subtotals. So we go back to the subtotal command and choose Remove All. A better strategy might be to try and put, for example, the count and the total on the same line. And here's how we'll do that. We'll choose Subtotal, say that we want to use the sum function for the numeric items, and I'm also going to add the sum function to, say, the region field. This is a text field, and of course we're going to get zeros initially. Sure enough, there are the zeros. But let's take a look at the function that's inserted by Excel when we use the subtotal command. Equals subtotal, and this is the range we want to subtotal, but what's the 9? What's the 9? Well, if we take a look at the subtotal function, I'll click the FX button, which is a fast way to get to help on this function. We'll see that there are 11 different functions available from 1 through 11, meaning average, count, count text, max, min, product, standard deviation of a population, sum, variance, and variance of a population. Well, I could never figure out why sum, clearly the most important one, is a 9. But it turns out, when you look at this view, when they added the subtotal function, they took the 11 functions, they apparently sorted them into alphabetical sequence, and numbered them in that manner. So average was 1, variance P, the last one alphabetically, was 11. Personally, I can't wait till someone convinces them that they have to add a median command and see what they do there. Are they going to make median be 4.5, or perhaps try and spell it with a W, the Weedian command, so it can be a 12? Anyway, the important thing here is that currently we're using 9 for sum, and if we want to do a count of the text, that would be a 3. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to select column A. On the Home tab, I'll go to Find and Select, and then Replace, and replace every occurrence of subtotal, open parentheses 9, comma, with subtotal, open parentheses 3, comma. I've selected only column A, and so I'll replace all, and you'll see that we now have a count over in column A and sums in columns F, G, H, and I. It's a little tricky, but at least we only have one line per customer instead of 2 or 3 lines per customer. Now let me remove those totals. And let's talk about adding totals by two different fields. For example, if we sort by product and then by region, so now we're sorted by region first and then product, and I want to add totals to both region and product, the trick is to add the totals to the region field first. So we'll choose the subtotal command at each change in region, use the sum function for quantity, revenue, cost of goods sold, and profit. Click OK, and we have our region totals. But let's go back to the subtotal command and say at each change in product, uncheck Replace Current Subtotals. That'll add a second level of subtotals. Click OK. Now we have 4 Group and Outline buttons. When I press the number 3 button, I see each product within the central region, each product within the East region, the government region, and each product within the West region. The 2 button gives me just the region totals, and the number 1 button gives me those fairly useless, just the grand total. Number 4 takes me back to all of the detail rows. Now it's important that we go left to right, or most aggregate to least aggregate. And here's why. Let me remove all the subtotals. You'll see that in this particular data set, I've added a government region, and the government region only buys product XYZ, which means that the government records for XYZ are adjacent to the East records for XYZ. If I would attempt to subtotal by product first, and then subtotal, you'll see that we have XYZ totals that span not just the government region, but also part of the East region. Well, we're about to create chaos when we subtotal by the government region. We now have an XYZ total that spans both the government and East totals. As we start to collapse, we're going to have basic chaos, and it will not look very good at all. So, it's possible to add subtotals by multiple fields. You need to start basically from left to right, and Excel will handle the situation of adjacent regions having the same product in adjacent rows. Well, I hope you found that helpful, and thanks for watching.
Looking to advance your career by acquiring new skills? Tired of expensive off-site training programs? Wish you could learn from the best instructors in the industry? Look no further than Live Lessons. Self-paced, personal video instruction by the world's leading technology publishers. Each live lesson comes with a DVD featuring 3 to 4 hours of instructor-led classroom training, sample program code that allows you to work along with your personal instructor, and an example-rich study guide. Live lessons allow you to watch the entire course from start to finish, or navigate directly to any of the individual lessons. You'll literally watch over the shoulder of your instructor as he shows you how to build state-of-the-art applications. Live Lessons, the power of the world's leading technology experts at your fingertips. To learn more, visit mylivelessons.com today.